Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Monday Morning Tech Tip. This week I would like to share with you a really amazing website called Quizlet. Now what Quizlet allows you to do is allows you to take vocabulary terms and it can help you make flashcards for studying. You can also make practice quizzes and you can create review games. Now you can use your own vocabulary terms or you can go through and search a whole bunch of other different types of flashcards that other teachers and other students have made. Now to get started with Quizlet, you want to go to Quizlet.com. When you first get to the website, you'll be greeted with, they have this really nice map that shows real time what some people are studying around the world. And you can scroll down, and if you take a look, there's a section where you can just try a couple of study sets out if you want to just get a feel for what it's all about. They do have some testimonials down here, but down towards the bottom they have the opportunity for you to go in by subject area and you could go through and search what they have available. Now what I'm going to do, I already have an account. You're going to want to create an account if you want to make something to use with your students. It's free, it's easy to do. I'm just going to go select log in, and I'm going to log in here very quickly. So now I've logged in and you'll see I'm greeted with a slightly different screen. I could go in from here, I can click on my sets, which takes me to this page. I can hit create, where I could just immediately start creating, or I could select browse, where I could go through and look at a bunch of other topics. So a lot of really neat things you can do here. I'm just going to show you the basics today. I'm going to go through, I did create some sample questions. And here is kind of the interface that you get to when you're looking at this. And there's a couple different ways you can do it, so I'll walk you through them. Right now, this center area is your main section, and it's going to always default to the flashcard mode. So what I want to do is click on here, expand to full screen, and that's going to allow me to just focus on those flashcards. Now here you can see that I have a picture and there's also a word. This is showing both sides of that flashcard. So if I was just introducing vocabulary, I could go through and I can click on each of these. Here's the word and then the definition. And I just click on the arrow here and I can scroll through. Now one option that I have is I could go up here. Once I get a feel for some of my vocabulary terms, I go up here and uncheck the box for both sides. And now it will give me the definition, and I have to click down here in the right hand corner to flip it, and then it will give me the word. When I'm ready to progress, I can go through and click to flip. So you can insert pictures, you could do definitions. So a very nice helpful study guide. Now that's a great way to practice. I do have a couple of other options up here. I could shuffle the order of the terms so it will mix them up. I could also go to the term first so that I have to do the definition. So depending on what you have selected, you have some different options. I could click on learn. And here it kind of gives me, it tells me how many questions I have remaining, what I have incorrect, what I got correct, tools and skills people use to meet their basic needs. Notice it says that I got one correct here. Press any key to continue. This is MacBook. And if I get one wrong, I'm just going to type some random words. I'll say that I got it wrong. And it tells me the correct answer. Press any key. I could start all over. I could also select I give up, and it'll give me the answer, but it counts as incorrect. So that is the learn mode. I could also go in and I could select test mode. Notice the interface is a little bit different here. Under test mode, it gives it to me almost like it's a quiz. I have some options here on the side. It'll tell me how many terms I have, and it will automatically grade it for me. So it's a great way to practice. There's something called scatter, and this is where you have to make everything disappear. You have to drag corresponding items into each other. So I would go through, and I could take my image and drag it to iPad and get that correct. I could drag this here. So I'm taking my definitions. Notice it's giving me a timer here so I can compete with other students in my class to get the best time. And it took me 28 seconds. It'll tell me the user who had the highest score, and it'll allow me to play again. Another option is you can do what's called race. It says kill the scrolling words by typing their corresponding term and pressing enter. See how well I remember my terms here. So then it takes it to another level, and you have to write either the definition or the term. So as you can see here, it gives you a lot of different strategies to help you. I'm going to hit pause here. It gives you a lot of different strategies to help you learn your terms. Now it's real easy to go back. I'm just going to select Quizlet here, go back. If I want to go in and create my own vocab terms, I just go up here and hit create. And I would like to give it a title. And subject, this will be technology. So all you have to do, you can choose if you want it visible to everyone. Right now I'm just going to make it be just me. If I wanted to go in and make certain classes, it will give me a drop down for the classes that I have. I could do people in those classes, people with password, a lot of different options. I could check the box for the classes. I'm going to just go back and say just me. So I can go down here and I can now type in, I put my vocabulary term, and we're going to put computer, and it can auto define it if you choose, which is always helpful. And it'll give you some options here what you can pick, and I'm just going to go with that definition there. Use that selected definition. You could go in, you could type other things. I'm going to type mouse, but I want to do add images. So now that I put mouse in here, I can go through. I could either upload an image if I want, or I could search for images. It'll automatically pull up images that it associates with being a mouse. Now, since I'm using a technology term, this mouse here might not be the best, but I could go in and select one of these, so I'll click that. So now it completes that question. I could reorder my questions and my vocabulary terms just by clicking on the arrows and dragging. I can delete them by clicking on the X. I could even select the language that I want it to be, and this is helpful if you wanted to read it to you. So then when I'm done, I just go down and hit create set. Now, another thing that you can do is you could create what's called classes, and you could have multiple classes, and you could create a class, and I created one that's called MASD Tech, and you can assign different sets to those classes. You can also allow the members of those classes to create their own vocabulary. So that's a great way if you want to have the students create their own sets. They can go in and they can use their own section of vocabulary, create their own terms, and they could create activities they can then share with each other. So I'm going to select my class. A couple different ways you could share your class. You can go in and I'm going to select where it says member. It says one member. I can add new members by using their username, their full name, or their email. Or I could sit there and take this here. This is a join link, and I can copy and paste this, put it on my web page, or I can create a QR code out of it so the students can scan it and then immediately work with this. Now, the great thing about this is available on mobile devices. There's also apps that you can put on the iPad and the iPhone, so you can use them that way. It's a really great tool that you can encourage your students to learn vocabulary and interact with it in a fun way. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Have a great week.